So if you are missing the previous classes, you can go to the about Apex classes, triggers, and VF pages. Just go to any. Here you can see everything, every code you can see here, and even you can watch our YouTube channel, and uh, you can know about the classes. And here is the Apex classes. If you click on it, it will show a list of all classes in the organization. There are many classes which are not useful. Some classes are good, some classes are really bad coding, because I gave the permission um, to my participants in the earlier class and even all the classes, so that they can even code directly in my mission, so that I can see their code. Okay, and same way, um, each and every class name what you are going to create should be unique. You should not make duplicate values. If you are trying to save that file, it will throw you some error saying that the file is already existing. And you can even put some filter here. So create a new view, so all classes, latest Apex classes. Okay, Apex classes. So this is right. You can this is like admin job or the Salesforce developer job to create some views. Okay, you can put latest job. So when I'm working on latest Apex classes, means I need to work on the created date, right? Okay, let's go to the created date option. So created by is there, created late date is not here. Last modified by is here. Created by equals to or contains Venkat or GATT. Yeah, yeah, nine. Okay, means, and I can put the ascending or descending order, right? So in this created by, I'm moving to this. Visible to me, visible to all users. I'm giving. Click on save. So these are all the classes which are created by me, and you can see the date. So what you can do is you can just click on last modified by multiple times. If you click on second time, you see the latest classes by me. 24th in the last class, 21st, 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 everything like this. Again 20, yeah, all the latest classes you can see here. Same way you can see even the VF page also, the same view. You can create the similar type of view in VF pages. Okay, if you want to see only my classes, you can see this like this. Same way Apex pages, Apex triggers also, you can see all the triggers here, and their last modified date. See, this also shows the last created date. 20 in the last class I have created a simple trigger for creating an insert. So after creating insert, right, I am creating a contact also, that is for this. Okay, and same way with the pages also, because in from the last 4 days we are creating much more pages, unlike classes and triggers. Again, I see created date here, but I don't see the created date option for the Apex classes. Created date, I'm doing one more time so that you will see the latest created dates. Here I'm putting the view in the descending order, means the latest date on the top and the old dates in the bottom. Means I see the fresh dates. In the last class I created some things, all this stuff you can see here. Okay, these are 6 VFPs which we created in this training from 12 to here. Okay, let's move on to our work again. So I've already shared the PDF file which I'm working on. This code is completely with you now. You can also try on your own. Okay. And today in the yesterday's class we showed how to send out an email from the Apex code, and now we are coming down to triggers. So this is a simple account trigger where this will run on before insert and before update of accounts. Okay. And this will be fired only on these cases when an account record is getting inserted or updated. Before insert, before update. There's other context variable called after insert, after update. You can use this if you want to do it after some data inserting. This operation will run before DML operation of account object. Okay, so means when you are trying to update the same object fields before saving some validations or something, you're gonna use this type of before triggers. When you want to work on some different type of objects, on click on save of account objects, you want to do some operations on other objects like contact, opportunity, something like this. In these cases you're going to use after triggers. Okay. uh, and that's a general thing we generally use this for. Okay, and coming to here for loop, I'm traversing. What is trigger.new? Trigger.new is a list of all the new inserted accounts. For suppose if you are clicking on the web browser, creating a new account from the browser, this will create only one record. What if the person is inserting 2000 or 10,000 account records at once? This also comes into the same loop. Here the records are very big, 2000 records. If I'm trying to execute this trigger one by one, means this will hit 2000 times, and this will hit 2000 DML statements at once, and it will throw some big error. That is the reason we are trying to do everything now with bulkifying. Bulkification means all the 2000 records which are going to be executed by this trigger will be inserted at once in one DML operation. Means we are just making using less resources of Salesforce. You are not hitting database multiple times. You are saving everything at once. So what I'm doing here is I'm recursing with a for loop. Okay, and I'm just getting if trigger is update. So I'm getting the old values also. What is trigger.old? Means trigger.old will contain the old values of the current record. Okay. Um. So the old value is here. So I am printing the old value, the current value as well as the old value here. This is simply system.debug statement. Okay, and this simple for loop, I think this is not having any significance in this current code. This is only to show, this if loop is only to show if it is update. I am just showing the old values. Okay, and our for loop will be executed till here, and this loop will be executed a number of times. Okay, for account for account.phone not equal to null, you're gonna show some simple error message. Phone please enter your phone number. It's a validation error. So you can do the same thing with the validation rules also, but here we are doing with the coding. I just want to show the same example here. Okay, and account type not equal to null, industry not equal to null. Again you have to show some error saying if type is given as industry should be given. Okay, if the type is not equal to null, industry should be given. So if there is some value inside a type value, account type, you need to enter industry value also. That's the reason it's saying if you are putting type equal to business account, business type, and you are not entering some industry value inside this account or industry field, this will throw an error. This is called dependent validation rules. You are depending on other field values to validate the some different field value. Okay, here I am going to use I'm using the account.type field to validate this industry value. Okay, and account.rating equal to if it is null, by default if there is no value in account.rating, right, I am making it as hot. Even though if it is cold, I'm not doing anything. If it is only hot, okay, If it is null value, if no one, if that guy is not entered any value, I'm making it as hot value. Okay. If some guy entered cold, I'm not modifying anything. Okay. The means the default value is hot. In this case, the default value is hot. Same way, if fax equal to null, okay, and phone not equal to null, in this case you're making your so if you're entering some phone value, if you're entering some account phone value, right? So if you're entering a phone value into your system, but you are not entering the fax value, what's happened? This is simple logic. If you see, this is comparing if fax equal to null means there is no value in fax, and account dot phone value not equal to null. If phone has a value, I'm copying the phone value into my fax value. Means, for suppose I'm entering some account records, I've forgotten to enter my fax details, but some people don't have fax, some people have fax, but I have phone number. If I'm putting down phone number, it automatically uses the same phone number as fax number if there is no fax number to you, to your company. That's what it will do. This is simple. So this operation will like execute a number of times. The 2000 number of record 2000 times it will be executed. Again, in before triggers, you should not insert a record because you are already inserting the record after some time, because this trigger will be executed before inserting the record. If you're trying to insert one more time, why there's no need of inserting one more time, right? Okay, this is some account trigger, and the same code is available in our organization with account.trigger. Okay, ACCTREG. And so yeah, this is the perfect bulkification. I have given the same example earlier without bulkification. Insert con is a trigger, new trigger. Here I'm like I want to compare the code examples. Okay. Yeah, so earlier when there is when I'm creating a account record, I'm checking the create contact checkbox. If it is true, I'm inserting the create contact records. Otherwise, I'm not inserting. For suppose if you are trying to insert 1000 accounts and you are checking for each and all the 1000 accounts, if you are checking this create contact means you are going to create a new contact. See, here is the code for creating the contacts. Okay. Earlier, if you see my code, I have given the insert contact inside this loop only, inside this for loop only. Means if there are 10 records, the 10 times it will be inserted 10 times. Okay, if there are 200 records, it will insert 200 times. But here, if you remember, there is a special line of code here saying list of accounts. I have created a list of accounts before parsing this list called LST. So what is the type of this list? It's a contact. If you see inside brackets, you can see contact. This is the object type what you have to give here. For suppose today if you want to create list of accounts, you give account inside that less than and greater than symbols there, right? And so I have created the list. What I'm doing, I have a method. I have a simple method here in lists. I can add n number of items to my list, right? So every item, every recursion of this for loop, if I'm going inside, if create contact not equal to true, then I'm creating a new contact. I'm setting the last name as account name. I'm populating the other details from the account. See, I'm only creating the account record from account record names only, and for account phone only I'm creating a contact records. I'm copying each and every information from account to this con, and I am adding this con. Con is a single record. LST is the list of contacts. List of contacts means it's array. You can add a number of items into that bucket. Okay, and this LST bucket or list will be having n number of items uh, you are inserting at once. For suppose if you are uploading some 10,000 records into my database from Apex data loader. Okay, in this case all the 10,000 records will be copied down to LST. It will create a new contacts for 10,000 accounts. Again, if they need to check this create contact equal to true. And finally, after, so this is the end of if loop, this is the end of for loop. After the end of this will be recursed a number of times, a number of record times, and at the finally I'm inserting all the records at once. Earlier, if you see my example, I'm going top. Okay, if you can see the example what I have shown you in yesterday's class. Yeah, this is after insert trigger, and if you see there is no list, and there is each and every time I am inserting a new contact. See, I'm not even recursing. If there are 2000 times this trigger will be called, and 2000 times it will be inserted. Record will be inserted 2000 times, it will be inserted. Means 2000 times I am calling the DML operations. Means there's a lot of burden to your database. You are calling a number of the actual, we have some limits, right? I have shown you the limits of Salesforce. It's really less. At a single instance you can only insert around 10 DML operations you can do. Okay, but in this case if I'm inserting 2000 times, 2000 record, 2000 DML operations. But in the new case, in the new bulkified code case, which is here, this will only give one DML operation for 2000 records. N number of records. If you're inserting 3000 and one in DML insert, everything is laid into one list, and all the complete array is going to be inserted at once with this insert list. Okay. You know LST is a contact records. This will insert in list of contacts to our code. Okay. And coming to the bulkifying the trigger with opportunity trigger. Okay, here generally in Salesforce we generally use OPP for opportunity. This is opportunity trigger, and again this trigger will execute only on the before updating the record. See, before update means before updating the record, before insert means before inserting the record. Okay, before update, here I'm using a map of IDs and opportunities. Okay, so here the key value is ID. Opportunity ID is the key value, and opportunity means it has a number of fields. It has stage, it has a type, it has amount, um, it has quantity, it has product, everything in this opportunity. Okay, and I am going to create. So there is a simple trigger context variables. Trigger.new will show you the list of new items which are inserted into your database. Trigger.old is list of all the old items for that objects, for that particular records. Okay, it won't show all the records, it will show you the old values of the inserted updating values. Okay, so I got OPP new values, old. So trigger.old, this map, so old map. What is trigger.old and what is trigger.old map? Trigger.old will give you the list of old values. Trigger.old map will give you the list of map of IDs plus their records. So this map will having more information than the list, means more advantage than the list, because list is like ordered set. You can insert Ramya's record at any or Pallavi's record or Anita's record at any point of view, and you don't know where the record is. But in map, right, we have an identifier key value where if you know the ID value of uh, Pallavi's record, you can directly call that ID and you can query all the information in that opportunity which Pallavi uh, is taking care of. Okay. You can take care of, you can query all this record, but that particular person's record. Okay, here this map will contain all the old means finally if you are updating 10,000 records, 10,000 record IDs, comma 10,000 means the 10,000 record ID values will be there inside this map. Later on, each and every ID will be linked to the appropriate record values. Okay, opportunity record object, and here I'm parsing um, with the new values. Okay, what I'm doing in this for loop, again trigger.new is a list of all the new values. I already said trigger, this is the only list, it is not map, and I'm parsing one by one. If I'm updating 10,000 records, this 10,000 records will be there in this 10,000 times, it will be recursed. Okay, this for loop will be recursed 10,000 times. And here the main thing is I'm going to compare, I'm going to use the old and new values comparing. Okay, for suppose there is a record in our opportunity record in our database, you're going to update this, so you want to do some clarification or some data changes based comparing the old values and new values. But if you are directly updating the record, your old data is going to be deleted. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do compare it before update only. That is the reason I have given before update here, and I am going to do the logic here. If old map dot get opportunity ID dot amount, OPP ID is same for both the things, because your ID is not going to change when you are updating the record. That means our dot amount is not equal to OPP dot amount. Means if old amount not equal to new amount, OPP new amount, and OPP stage equal to close one, the current the new stage is called close one, and again OPP stage, the old stage value equal to close one, right? Generally you are going to throw some error. The real meaning of this complete logic is, if a opportunity is close one, okay, and you are again trying to update the account values, amount value, see if there is a difference change in amount value, you are going to throw some error, add error. You cannot update the amount value after closing the stage, after close one stage. That is the real meaning of this bulkifying trigger example. Okay, got it. Let's move on to the other trigger. You have all the code, you can copy this complete code. You generally you don't copy the complete code, you type one by one line, so that you will have good understanding what is what. Okay, and it will be really useful when you are trying to code on your own in the future classes. And coming to the next class, coming to the next trigger, rollup trigger. What is rollup trigger? Sorry, what is rollup meaning? You have even used the rollup summary fields only on the master child relationship, MD relationship, master detail relationship. But what if you want to do the similar operation on the child, on lookup relationship also? What is the real meaning of rollup summary fields? So if there is a MD relationship, trainings and participants, training is the master, participant is the child object, then you can create a master rollup summary field only on the parent object to calculate the sum of all the participants, sum of all the participant charges, number of count of participants, average value of their salaries, everything like this. Okay, that is called roll-up summary field, and you're gonna do this, you're gonna use this field only for the lookup related objects, and again in the parent object. This is really simple and it really useful for you. You're gonna use this code, you can use this code whenever you have a similar type of requirement. Here I'm running this trigger on contact. So means here my account ID, account is my parent, contact is my child object. I can use the roll-up summary field also, right? But here I want to use the roll-up summary trigger to do the same operation with me. Okay, now I have simply taken the set of IDs, means I want to only get the unique records, because for an account there can be 10,000 contacts also. Got it? There can be n number of contacts, 0 to n number of contacts. For suppose if you are trying to insert 5,000 contacts, means the parents can be 2,000 or 1,000 or even 1 also, right? Because all the 10,000 contacts can be linked to one guy also. Okay, in this case I want the only the unique values of unique account IDs. That's the reason I have created set account IDs. Account the type is ID, and ACC IDs is the account IDs. This is a simple variable to call this set. Okay, and I'm running this trigger on after insert, after update, after delete, and after undelete on 4 options. These are all the uh, type of trigger generally on when this is going to be executed. So here I have used all the after triggers after creating the record. After every operation, I am going to run this trigger, even after undelete also. If some guy is restoring from recycle bin also, this operation will be executed on contact, only on contact records. Okay, and coming to in the first loop is checking whether if it is in is insert and is update. I am doing one operation and is undelete means also you are adding it to you're adding to your bucket. For suppose there is an account and you have 4 contacts. You want to see the number of contacts in the count value in the account object. If you're adding a new contact, means it's your to the same account you are adding plus something like this, right? Plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 to your count value inside the account object. So these 3 values will make a plus thing, and is update or delete values will make it as minus. It can be minus or it can be positive also in update case, right? If it is positive, you're gonna go to here, and if it is unlinking, you're going to be here. If you are removing a contact, and so if trigger is insert means it will give on the boolean value true or false. If is update is on or this is our loop. If any of this operation is done, this will go into this loop, and this for loop will be executed that number of times. If there are 500 inserts out of 3000, 500 inserts, 200 updates, and 200 undeletes, okay, then this many number of times, 500 plus 200 plus 200, 900 times this will be executed for this for loop. Okay, what this for loop will do, this for loop will recurse the contacts which are new. So what are new contacts? So everything here will give you the new contacts information, and trigger dot new, and I'm checking account ID not equal to null, and I'm adding everything to the account IDs. acc.ids.add con.id. Generally, this here till here you are really clear, right? This account ID is set, and I'm adding some ID to it. From where you will be getting account IDs? Here I have only contact information. In contact, there is a relationship field to the account called account ID, which will store the primary value, means the primary key of the account object, that is account ID. You are going to add this value to this set, means you're only getting the account IDs, unique values, which are linked with this contacts. Okay, on update. Okay, right. And so simply I'm only adding the account unique IDs. Same way, trigger dot world. So this will recur a number of times with is update and is delete operation, and this will add all the old contact IDs to the same thing. So finally I have if 4000 inserts are happening on a connect object which are linked with around 200 accounts, there will be 200 account IDs in my ACC IDs. Later on, if I'm running this operation now, okay, if acc.id.size function greater than 0 means if there is at least one contact has an account, means this will have a positive value. Then if it is greater than 0, I'm running this query, simple query, to get the count values. Okay, here is the list of all the accounts I'm getting. Okay, account list lst, select id, number of contacts is a simple field which will store the which will show the count of the contacts in your account object, parent object, comma, select id from contacts, from account where id in account ids. So generally this is the in the for loop. From in the where loop, I'm simply comparing if id is in means this set is having 200 accounts. Suppose you think there are 200 accounts in this account ids. This is going to recurse one by one. If there is id here, there will be around 1 lakh accounts, but there will be only 200 accounts in this. This is going to only pick only that particular ids, and it's going to search, get the contacts of this id, sorry, get the contacts of this particular account, and you're going to sum up here. And again, inside this for loop, I'm passing this current account. Okay, I'm parsing this current account list of accounts, right? I'm parsing this list of accounts, and each account has contacts, right? This for loop will go, if there are 200 accounts in the set, this will recurse 200 times. All the 200 times will be recursive. This for loop also will be recursive 200 times. Okay, because the lst is having 200 records. In this line, in this acc dot number of accounts contacts, now I am putting some value which is derived from acc dot contacts. Means it will, the meaning of acc dot contacts is this is a relationship name contacts, and means you can call this name from the parent object. It will show you the number of contacts. It will give you the list of all contacts for that particular record. For suppose your account object current account record is having 6 contacts, acc.contacts will show you all the records, all the 6 contact records. And there is a separate function I have at the end called dot size. Means it will show you the number 6, and it's going to be copied down to acc.number of contacts. Number of contacts is a simple field. acc.contacts is not a field, it's a list of contact records, child object records of the current object. Okay, and update acc means now I'm updating acc. What will happen is it's going to update the system with all the new values. If you are inserting, and again, currently in the current system there are 2 lakh contacts. Further there will be 10 lakh 2 lakh accounts. Further there will be 10 lakh contacts. Now you are adding around 5,000 more contacts. When you are adding, right, you are going to distribute this to multiple contacts, multiple accounts, right? After that, your roll up summary fields has to be updated, right? If a new contact is added for an account, if there are 4, if you're adding one more item, you need to make this 5 count in your account object. It's not going to be done automatically. If there's no roll up summary field, you have to do manually, but with this trigger that can be done automatically with this complete logic. Every time what I'm doing is, when I'm inserting some records, I'm getting the set of all the unique account IDs for the current inserts, contact inserts. This trigger is on contact object, and after getting it, I'm parsing the list of items, new items, and setting, and I'm getting the count of contacts available in that by putting dot size function here at the end, and I'm copying that value to number of contacts and updating the account. That is the reason I have running this trigger after insert. So after contact insert only, there will be some new values in the account, in the database child record. That's the reason I am getting the new values and new count values also. So you guys are a little confused on this, but if you know, this is the actual roll up summary trigger code requirement. Okay, you can use the same thing. If you know what is roll up summary field, you can understand this really properly if you parse one by line of code. Sometimes you might get a requirement saying, please add the roll up summary functionality on my lookup relationship. In this case, you cannot do anything. You have to copy this complete trigger. Same thing you have to implement there by replacing the object names and field names. That's all. That's it. It's enough, and you are done with the current requirement. Okay. And bulkifying the trigger with source trigger. Here Here this trigger is on contact, it's called source trigger, and I'm running this on after insert and after update. And this is having the list of contact. The first line is list of contacts. I'm giving it as this will show the LST is the list of contacts. And this I have a for loop which will execute a number of times, a number of insert times. Trigger.new means this will only execute on new values. Okay, all the new values will be there in this list, and it will recurse a number of new value times. Okay, if there are 40 new values, 4 times this will be recursed. And inside this recursive block there is a if loop which will check whether the trigger class updated. So generally this is a wrong thing here. Trigger class is not you can just trigger dot is updated. Okay, so you can see trigger dot is updated. Okay, is updated. Yeah, if trigger class is updated equal to true, you're making it as false. Bulkifying the trigger with the source trigger. So this is a context variable. What I'm doing here is um, so generally what will happen is whenever you are going to update some records, right, it will be recursed a number of times. See, if I'm updating some value, it may trigger one more action, and which again this will do it will run the trigger again, and that will happen, right? That is the reason there is a simple logic here which is blocking trigger class is updated equal to true. By default, when you are updating some values inside database, and there is a trigger class that will mark on the current object this record is updated. Okay, I'm forcefully making that thing equal to false. Okay, this is a system variable which will not be shown to you. I'm making forcefully that this is false, means I'm saying that the trigger is that the code is not that the record is not updated. And after that what I'm doing is I'm just updating the record. Actually I'm not updating the record. C.lead source equal to web, I'm making it as web source. Okay, I'm changing the source. It may be any phone or something like this, but if it is anything, so even though if it is having some different values, it will be modified to web. Now contact lead source equal to web for all these records which are updated. All the records which are updated, they are modified to web. And you are adding all this list of contacts to lst.add c. If there are 40 records inserted into the contact record, this will be executed 40 times, and this lst.add will be executed 40 times with the new 40 values. And finally, if you come here, this is the end of if loop, this is the end of for loop. After this end of this for loop, have no nothing, single line of code saying update lst. Mean this, now I'm going to update lst. All the 40 records will be updated with this simple line. One DML statement, 40 items will be updated. That is changing the source of a contact object, lead source of the contact record. Okay, so again here is the context variables, and these are really useful. What is the written type of trigger dot new trigger dot old, everything is mentioned here. I think I have already explained you everything in the cheat sheets. You have all the cheat sheets ready with you that you can refer and you can use it. And one more trigger before trigger on account object. We have many other examples like this. So this trigger is like run before inserting or before updating the account record. And I'm explaining the code now. So earlier Here trigger.new is a list. I'm assigning the list of items to one record. This won't be really possible because um, here that is the reason I'm giving index value. Means if I'm querying with index value, the return type is a single record, not an records. But if I'm assigning account acc equal to trigger.new, that's a really bad syntax error. The system will throw you some error saying you are assigning some list of values to a single item, because account acc will store only one account record, but trigger.new will be having n number of records. That's the reason I'm giving only first record to this. Later on, if acc.phone equal to, if there's a phone equal to null, I'm giving phone error. Okay, I'm showing that please enter the phone value. And again, if account type equal to null, this is simply before trigger for checking the validations. See, most of them are validations. I think this is, we have already checked it, right? So phone value, and if the type is equal not equal to null, industry value should be there. This is a repeated code. Let's move on to other thing. Yeah, before trigger on contacts to send to update some, like based on the birth date, to calculate the number of days he lived. Okay, number of days the person has lived. Okay, that's the requirement here. Contact con is storing the first record value on the trigger insert trigger.new of 0. If contact the current record contact.birthdate not equal to null, means I'm running this code. If contact record birthdate equal to null, the trigger will not do anything. It will go out of this if loop, and there is nothing out after this if loop. Date tod equals system.today. Okay, and this is going to get the difference. Con dot number of days lived, con dot birthdate dot difference number of days between TOD means this is the current date, today date, and it's asking the difference between your birth date and the today date, means it will show you the number of days. Okay, days between is a simple function in the date function, which will get you the difference of number of days between any two dates. We have two dates, one is birth date, one is today, and this will obviously show you the number of days here. Okay, and new and old triggers. So we've already seen this stuff here earlier, and the same example is repeated one more time. It's simple difference to show you the new one volt trigger.volt triggers. I already said you trigger.new will contain the list of new values, and trigger.volt will contain the list of old values only on update scenario. What is trigger.volt values? When you are inserting a new record, there is nothing, zero values, right? Trigger.old will be only existing in update case, in when you're trying to update. Okay, and when you're trying to update, only mostly on update we will see the old trigger.old values. And that's the reason we already gone through this example and explaining again. And triggered on opportunity, so the same examples you see in our system also, because I've already created this in the previous class. In our organization, you can try these examples directly there also, or if the example is not there, you can copy this code and you can try this. Make sure that you have, after creating the trigger, you have to activate it. To execute, you have to activate it. Same like workflow, there is an activate button, simple checkbox on each and every trigger box, and make sure that you are validating each and every scenario what you have kept in the trigger. You have kept a lot of if loops to check, to run this trigger properly, to validate, to test it properly. You have to put all the conditions properly and you have to test it. All the scenarios you have to test. If that is working, you have to make this completed. Okay, and we have one more trigger, an opportunity. This is also, we have worked on it to show that you cannot change the value if the close if the opposite is equal to close one. So in this case, you are using both old and new values to compare the old and new values of the same record, not the new other record, the same record. If if a record is already became closed one, you cannot update the opportunity record. That's the requirement here. And this is the error you can see on the screen if you're trying to update the record which is having close one stage name. Okay, and coming to the recursive trigger, so uh, for recursive triggers you're gonna use a simple static value called boolean is updated value equal to true, and you're going to use this boolean value for the future reference to stop the the looping thing like this. Okay, let's work on designing the apex controller part. Okay, okay, so now I want to do this code directly on the page. Let's copy this page first. Now I'm creating a page called, so now go to the new tab and I'm creating a page called, how I'm creating page with simple removing everything after .com backslash. Okay, and after that you are adding apex again backslash and pick list and others. Pick list and others. This is a simple VF page. This is not there in our system and it will ask us to create the new thing. So I got the error. Click on this to create the new page directly from here, and I'm going to copy this complete uh, code here and I will explain it now after running this. Okay, I'm not saving it again now. So after that I'm copying the class apex class. After click on save, this will ask us to create a pick list. Here there are some strong problems here because I'm missing some lines of code here. Let's go to our code. Yeah, these two lines are missing. These two lines are missing here. That's the reason it's throwing some error to me. uh, oh my god. Okay, again in the line number 2 I do have a simple error. Just checking what the error is. The element must be allowed with the attributes. Okay, action function is here and I think everything is going good. Yeah, now it's done there, right? Action function must be followed by this end tag. I'm doing with this. Now it's trying to save again, and now this is having no problem. Now I'm just action function, I'm copying again, I'm trying to save again. Oh, my old error got it. Okay, let's ask to get selected, create the one more. Okay, generally when I'm trying to save this page, it's asking to create the page and the methods inside this. Now the apex class also created for this is called controller class. I'm now copying this simple code. This is the support class, backend class for us. Okay, um, and it should contain one more bracket, ending brackets. Now this is done. So, and I want to again work on apex function. I can write the apex function now. Apex colon action function and value. You can directly go to the value. Oh, okay, value is not here. So the name is there. Name equal to change because I have to give the same name because somewhere here I am calling the same function from this below change values. I can show that to you. And action, I'm calling the assign action function, linking this action with the apex action. Assign. And there is finally there is one more simple URL to re-render OL. OL is something like some ID which is linked to some other code here. Okay, yeah, now this is working. Now I will explain the code now. It's better to explain from here. So yeah, the syntax is having problem here. It should be capital error, capital R. You need to be more careful in the attribute name. Sometimes if you are not changing, if you are not reflecting properly the changes what you have done, just keep the capital R properly here. This is a simple page which is linking with the picklist class. Picklist class is having like it's simply when I'm calling is simply having a function called assign function, which is making the display text equal to selected text. You're making that string equal to selected. Okay, let's come up here. So this is like simple apex class for showing the select options, radio buttons, how it will look like. Generally we're gonna create the same things from our drag and drop menu, right? The object page layouts, you're gonna do the same thing, but here I'm using the complete pick list values, select options, size, multi pick list values, checkboxes, radio buttons with a code. So if you want to do the thing with the code, you have to write this number of lines for creating the radio button, 3 buttons. For checkboxes, 3 buttons, you have to create the code like this, and with item values and item label. Label is for external appearance, Item value is for internal appearance, internal code appearance. You're going to reference that value to some database value. For suppose if you want to add the gender radio button checkbox, radio button thing, you want to label, you can do anything male or female, but in the back end if you want to link with our database you should follow the same tradition. If you're having the pick list value, if you want to store one type of values only like M or F or male or female, in that cases the item value should be the value should which needs to be syncing with the backend system, so that whenever you're trying to add some values from this current page, the database will won't show any errors and it will show the proper values even in the reporting, everything like this. So this is a simple syntax for this stuff, and I see the front end information like this. Okay, I can radio buttons is like this, but checkboxes I can select multiple checkboxes, and this is see, these are selected. So here my function, the change function, what I'm doing here is what all I have selected here, it's showing at the bottom. There's output label to show the display test. What is display test? Display test will show you the selected items in this option. First up, come here. So the selected, so this complete pick list value is having the values will be stored in the selected item. Okay, this will be having the value which is selected in this three options. This value, on change of this function, I'm assigning this value to a display text. This is a simple string which you can see here. Okay, this is also string, this is also string. A display string I'm selecting here. I'm trying to print at the bottom directly, right? If you come here, I'm printing the value at the bottom. This is output label. So output label IOL equal to you are selected display text, means this is a static text which is constant for all the things, and after that I'm going to display the values which I'm selecting here, right? See, 1 2 3 3 4 5 ABC, because these are relevant values. So the external appearance is different. I already said you the external appearance of the it depends on the label. The internal appearance will depend the item value. I'm displaying only the item value. Okay, the item value will be saved in the selected items. Okay, see, ABC is linked with 1 2 3 item values. I am displaying only the item values. If I'm selecting only DEF, it will show only 3 4 5. See, 3 4 5 here. This is the simply VF example for showing all the field values you can do with Apex VF pages. Okay, let's move on to other one. And yeah, so this is like a search thing, and is for searching any requirements, for searching any records inside the Salesforce thing, right? You can create a search page for them for your based on your requirement. You can do the search requirement with this page. If you want a requirement, you can use the same code also with by modifying the variables. For suppose if you want to do search on leads, you can create a separate page for called lead search page, and you can do the things directly there by linking the their field object names and field names. So this search bar is having a simple input text value, which is for searching the text. And when I'm searching something, when I'm clicking on search button, I'm calling the do search option. Okay, do search is a method inside our Apex class. See, if you come here, do search is the simple function here, and on call of this function, I'm searching for list of contacts. See, ID, name, phone from contacts where name equal to search text plus star, means it should be like such text. If I am putting VEN, it will display all the contacts starting with VEN or contains VEN word inside there, complete first name, last name, or anything like this. Okay, only you see I'm checking only the name. It only checks the compares the name only. It will display all the contacts in the list. Let's do this example in the page. Okay, let's go to the if the code is already there, let's we can let's go to search. Click on new, and I'm creating a wave page from here. So I'm making as search see search contacts. So generally, if I'm making this available to view page, you can use this page for the mobile layouts. I can use this drag and drop, and I can use it anywhere in the mobile layouts. Okay. So let's go to our current page and just copy down the. So after this, I will explain the line by line code. Okay. So before saving this, I need to create a class. It's not the dynamic render where it's asking to create one more class and later on I can put the save the class and something like this. But this is the directly I'm going to pfpage. I'm directly That's the reason I'm going to create the first class, because I'm refreshing this class. If I'm trying to save this, sorry, it's here, right? Okay, trying to save this, it will throw some error to me. Oh my god. Okay, I'm on the same page and I'm clicking on save. Yeah, see, it's saying that there's no error. Okay, and let's come here and save this and go back here and click on save. Now this will show, it won't show any error for us, because the class which I'm referencing here in the search class in this page tag is already created, and I'm referencing this. If there is no such classes, it's asking us to create a new class directly here on the screen, and you can click on and open a new tab, and you can do that. If you are clicking on the same page, what it will do is it will navigate to it will change the state, and it won't show you the current thing, the current page, the current code is all, everything will be lost. Okay, and let's do one thing, and let's go to this page. How do you access this page? Open the page in a new tab. I want to go with the other page. Okay, search class. This is how you can reference that pages. Oh, uh, this class is there, right? Sorry, the class name is search contacts, not the. This is the class name. I want the page name, so I want to put the page name here. Now I'm going to open the page name with the search contacts. So by default, all the contacts are shown in our page. Let's search for Bharati, BHAR, and click on search. Now I have seen the only the name starting with BHARIT. Okay, it can be any name. So uh, the name starting with Bharti only it's coming, because in my in my code have given select ID name phone from contact where name like such text plus star. If you are keeping this percentage mark before also, if you're keeping this percentage mark before such text, then it will consider it can be at anything. But here I have kept the percentage mark at the end, means the starting word should be BHA. Okay, and later on you can do anything like the such text what you are putting there, it will be copied down here. That should be the starting value. Okay, So this is a simple search code. Let's do it one by one. Okay, what's happening? So this is the method. When we are clicking on this, when we are clicking on this, I will show you one more requirement which will automatically search dynamically for you. So this is, now I'm clicking on search again, so to show all the values. Okay, now I want to click on um, Pallavi. Sorry, I should not click on enter, I'll click on search. Okay, so I do have only one value. There is some error because when I'm clicking on search, it's throwing some big loading button. I want to reduce it. How to do that? So here's the image. I want to reduce the size with width and so the width tag is here, 20 pixels, and height tag is here, 20 pixels. I mean, now this won't show in that big format. Let's save this. Oh, because I have to use this at the end. Okay, click on save. And this won't show any error now, and it will print our search bar. Now search for, it will show the contact record, and sorry, it will show the contact record. So the search is really small now, which will be really good. And you can, there's no phone number for Pallavi. Okay, same way I want to here I am giving one more action, right? I'm typing some value and I'm clicking on enter. I want to do one more action, like I want to create one more action function before you. um, Apex action function. I want to give the name, like name equal to live search, live action do search. Okay, so what I'm doing is I have created one more action function to do live search, to do the search method. I'm calling the same method, but I call this function on key up. See what I will do. The input text has some functions like on change, on key up. Okay, on key up, I want to call this function. Means now, so when I'm clicking on PA, what happens? This will run a, this will call a function. It will store, or it will show you all the list of contacts starting with PA. PA. After that, I'm putting L. See, now RAM, and it will show all the values starting with RAM. This is like generally we generally see this type of search in the Google search bar. When you are typing the things, it automatically do searches like this. So this type of search requirements, you can do this. You can use the following code and you can use it in your current projects. Okay, and so this is the code for live search, and I'm just refreshing the complete code, complete page. And you can even stop doing that also. You can only refresh that particular division. Okay, We can do even that also. There is a separate so we are displaying each and every item in a with the page block table. Have all the list of contacts in my mission, and I'm displaying it. If I'm searching some records, so let's do one thing. Page block table have yeah, let's so not to disturb this. Okay, that will disturb some other option which is currently working, and I don't want to do that. So this is the now we have two options. One is the search with live search, and one is with the button search. When you're adding the search with live search, right, there's no need of button search. You have to remove the button search, because when you're typing bhar only, it will search for all the names starting with bhar and it will show the list to you. Then there's no need to search again one more time. Okay, this will show the same thing. Okay, let's move on to other example. uh, Loading page with database. So yeah. mm, let's copy, I'll explain the code again after. So generally we are creating some object here. I don't know this object is whether this object is in our system or not. For that I have to check, because whenever you're trying to do some object references inside our code, we have to first create the same object in our database. Means here in our go to create object, and you're going to reference the same object here. You are not going to create objects that are not existing in our system. You have to create the first object first, which we have done with scheme, which we can do with schema builder, which we can do with setup menu. Directly go to setup, go to create. Later on you can create new object, custom objects. Okay, the registration is a custom object. I don't know whether this is there in the system or not, and we can search it now, and if that object is there, good enough, and we can move down to the next example. This is the better way to search instead of going multiple clicks, right? In the schema builder you can directly search for that particular object and you can get the values. Yeah, registration is there. Now I can use this current code. Now I want to create one more new page. Search contacts. Okay, login page. I'm going to create the page, new page, and we'll use the current code to do this. Okay, it will ask me to create a login.class because this is referencing this login class file. Means everything what we are doing here is like a controller classes, custom controller classes. Okay, and means you are not using standard functions. Okay, but I have already showed you simple example with standard features in the first class for coding by simply putting in the apex tag only you are putting standard controller equal to account, means it will get all the properties of the accounts. If you are putting command button equal to save, this is means standard save button. On click on save, the record will be saved. This is not having any custom features and custom actions on it. But when you are doing the same thing with a custom controller, you have to write each and every function for save, delete, edit, everything. And you can add some on top of it, you can add some more actions. On save you can do some other stuff also. On save of this account record I can do some other actions, like I can create opportunity, I can create contact, I can create some other stuff. Okay, I can create some emails, everything I can do in the same code I can add a number of codes in the custom controller. Now it's asking to create the booking class, and I copied this coming login class, and this is having a simple problem. um so still there's some problem here, because when I'm this VF somewhere in the line number 6, there's a problem here with the equal symbol, because they should be in the same line. In the line number 5, expecting right brackets at username. This is true, and username is Jack. So this is the page reference. I'm just setting this stuff, and yeah. Yeah, we do have the right bracket, but I don't know this. There is some problem here. I will look on it and I will let you know. Okay. Hey, yeah, guys. I think there's some problem here. Have to check this syntax again, and I will let you know. Okay. This such example is having not such example. The registration page, where I'm going to create a custom registration page with the username, password, and validating whether this login is correct or not. Okay. That option I will let you know. And so let's do one thing. Let's close the class for today, and we'll work on the other examples in the next class. So it's already 1.5 hours. So uh, if I'm putting more things on you also, you'll forget most of the things what I have teach today. So yes, you can refer this document. If you have any questions, you can just message me on Charter. This document I uploaded in Charter also. You can download that. And some people are like creating the resumes. I'm just following through that, and I've done some of the resumes. So again, I will update you after this. Okay.